I'm a journalist, and I set out to tell a story about prison policy and the incarcerated people it affects at San Quentin. But first, I had to get in. I started working on a story about Governor Newsom's proposed rehabilitative transformation of San Quentin State Prison in January, and I knew from the beginning that the most important voices in my story would be the people living there. I began by interviewing programmers teaching art and education classes at the prison, including Essence Goldman, who leads a weekly songwriting course.
There's songs for their mothers, songs for their children, songs for their fathers, songs for lost years, songs for shattered dreams, songs for hope, you know? And through these various assignments, we find a collection of material that's quite moving.
Goldman said I could come visit her class at the chapel, but I needed gate clearance first, which programmers tell me is harder and harder to come by these days. So after I submitted a form, I worked on my backup plans. It is February 28th. I'm in the media center writing letters to incarcerated people at San Quentin. I haven't written a letter since childhood, and I had to figure out how to address them to incarcerated people and what I could and couldn't include. At the end of each, I gave them my number and address and told them to share it with their community. 2 days later, I got my first phone call.
You have a prepaid call from an incarcerated individual at San Quentin Rehabilitation Center, San Quentin, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They started coming daily, but we were limited to 15 minutes per call, and nothing was private.
I think the governor he has made some progress in regards to question number 3, about transforming this prison to a rehabilitation center. I believe that people are starting to, especially the older generation.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
A few weeks later, I got my first mailed reply from Kevin Shepler, who sent me a 6-page handwritten letter. I was so grateful for all these responses, but with each additional person telling me about the problems at San Quentin, I knew I had to go see for myself. After 3 clearance requests being denied, I found out on April 8th that I was granted access for 8 a.m. the next morning. I booked a flight for 6 a.m., packed a purse, and started getting ready to visit. I wasn't allowed to wear anything denim or blue because that's what inmates wear. Nothing that could be used as a weapon, and absolutely no phones or recording devices were allowed on the premises. I touched down at 7:30 a.m. and got to San Quentin just in time for class. I spent 4 hours with the students and took notes on their songwriting workshop, which worked through themes of trauma, accountability, and loneliness. The part of San Quentin I saw was the part that the public is allowed to see. The picturesque east entry and the college campus-like courtyard, with a fountain and topiary bushes. I wasn't searched, x-rayed, or otherwise dehumanized, and was treated with respect and dignity the whole time I was there. What I heard in that class showed me that even though I had made it into San Quentin, I had no idea what incarceration was really like.